Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Instant with Amanda and Chris, as you know, and we have a very special guest today, the one and only Dr. Mike.
Yay!
Is here in the house.
We're so excited.
We're really excited to have you. Thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you for having me.
I think, obviously, most people know you online, which is why you're here, but you're welcome back home because you were People Magazine's Sexiest Doctor Alive a couple years ago.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Here.
actually, I heard a really good PR spin the other day that I'm the reigning People Magazine.
Oh.
Because there's
no
no
one
doctor.
Only? You're a living
so
legend.
Since 2015,
So still,
no new doctors. Yeah.
the reigning champ. Well, like I said, that was like 2 years ago when they
Yep,
did that, and
exactly.
you had a pretty big following then online already
Yeah.
on Instagram. So how did your social media following get so strong by that point?
I had such a unique route to get to where I am today. When I was in med school, I wanted to show everybody that going to medical school isn't this horrible experience where you lose all your friends and you don't go to social events, you can't work out. I was doing all of that. So I said, I want to show that to the world through social media. Got on Instagram, started posting pictures. Over 3 years, people really related to the channel well, got about 100,000 followers on its own. And then in 2015, just before People Magazine, I had one of those viral moments. And as a doctor, when you think viral, that doesn't sound like a good thing.
Yeah.
But for this, it actually was a good thing. But sort of bittersweet, because as a doctor, you want to be known for being the youngest doctor in the hospital, publishing research, that I had encyclopedia articles written by myself. And what I was known for is being the hot doctor with his husky. That was the headline everywhere, on BuzzFeed, Time, Inc., everywhere. Like everywhere, that's all they were talking about. And I had to make the decision, do I accept this title of hot doctor or go a completely different route? And I said, you know what, let's have fun with it. I think outside of the box in my medical career, so I started thinking outside the box here and used it as a platform to come on television, to come on social media channels and talk about some healthy stuff.
Is it weird to combine social media and medicine?
Yeah.
Because you don't think about those two things together at all.
In fact, you never think about professionalism and social media
Oh, yeah.
coming hand in hand. I always saw the Kim Kardashians of the world, Justin Biebers of the world. Look, God bless them for what they do. That's their business, their industry. But I said, if they can be popular for what they do, why can't doctors? Why can't lawyers? Why can't police officers? So I accepted this notion and said, I will make something positive about it. I will create an uplifting channel where I can educate people, but have fun at the same time. Because medicine doesn't have to be sad. We can have fun. We can laugh about our illnesses. And those that are the most sick, often most people around them act really somber as to not upset them. But when you're always surrounded by people who are somber, you don't have a good time. So it's refreshing when a doctor comes in, makes a few jokes, you relate to each other, you take a selfie. It really lightens up the mood and brings up people's spirits. So that's what I've been trying to do with my platform.
I'm one of those people that when I go to the hospital, like my stomach just goes inside out because I'm like, I'm gonna die. If I'm going there for a flu shot or something.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a syndrome called white coat syndrome, where when patients come to the doctor, their blood pressure is high, but not because they have high blood pressure, but because they're nervous to go see the doctor.
That's me.
So that
And you
exists.
see people like coughing in the elevator, you're like, oh my God, what's going on?
I get nervous because I think I should have something. Or it could just be like, oh, you have a cold, but I'm like, no, it's not. I should have something.
That happens.
Well, you have somebody here filming for your YouTube channel.
Yes.
It's gotten that big where you need to have which is cool that you can have like a team doing your social media for you.
Yes. Most of my social media, with the exception of YouTube, I do completely on my own.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody enough to do it. Not because I don't trust people, but because a lot of people come to me for medical advice, and I think it would be wrong to have someone representing my medical judgment on there.
Yeah.
Dan Owens, my videographer here, is a true rock star, and the YouTube channel, we started about 5 months ago. It's skyrocketed. Now we're getting 1 million views per month, even counting from the first month since we've started. To have 250,000 subscribers. Wow. And I think it was a great proof of concept that, yes, people follow me on Instagram because of the hot doctor thing, but they truly do care about medicine as long as it's presented in a fun, interesting way.
You do like the funniest video, the curbside
The
concept.
curbside concept, yes.
I was like, I wonder how many people get scared and run from you because it's like a Billy on the street thing, but let me
Yes.
tell you what's wrong with you.
Yes.
I'm like,
Well, John, didn't you say you have like a headache type of thing? Like he said
I
he's
do have
not
a headache
feeling
today.
so hot. So
It's going to be studio consult today.
that's just the vodka sodas.
Oh, there you go. Which I wanted to ask, speaking of, I mean, we know all the ways to prevent a hangover where it's like eating and drinking a lot of water. What are other ways to like prevent and cure hangovers?
So a hangover is sort of this term a blanket term that covers all the symptoms that you feel after drinking. You get headaches, you get nauseous, you get dizzy, you feel fatigued, right? So it depends on what symptoms are bothering you the most. And I'm a big fan of prevention rather than just treatment, because that's what I do in my practice every day. If you have a hangover and you know you're prone to hangovers, you have to adjust something in your pattern. There's no magic pill. All the people that are trying to sell you something on the internet, some vitamins.
I've heard people coming
It's
and
just
doing
not
IVs. Do IVs work?
That's a question I get asked a lot, and it's a
Yeah.
fair question. Getting an IV beforehand, hydrating, it's useless because you could just drink a bottle of water and
Right.
get the same effect. Afterwards, if you're severely dehydrated, it will help you get hydrated a little bit quicker than drinking a bottle of water. Especially if you're nauseous and vomiting and you can't hold down water. That's even a better point. But to throw vitamins in there, to throw prescription medications in there, because that's what a lot of these IV stations do. And most people think they're just getting some fluids. But if you're getting prescription medication, there's legitimate side effects. The most common one they give in these concoctions is something called Zofran, and it's an anti-nausea medication. Works great, and for if you're really sick, it's a good thing. But for a hangover, it has legitimate side effects. Tachycardia, your heart beats too fast, arrhythmias. These are things that you probably want to know about before just getting them inserted into your vein.
We were just celebrating a friend having a new job. So
I've accepted that ever since I turned 25 or after
they just get
25,
worse.
it's just gonna. I'm gonna
I
have
agree
to
though.
live
It is
with
about prevention. Drink a lot of water while you're.
Yes.
If you're like, you do the water sandwich. So have a
Yes,
drink
that's-
water. Drink
I've
water.
been a big fan of that.
Eat a burger.
Yeah,
Don't, you know what I mean.
bread.
Like
Bread.
Just have a loaf
So
of bread
coat
in
your
your
stomach.
pocket.
Well, it's good to know.
I assume you get a lot of weird questions
Yes.
online. So what's some of the weirdest things people come at you with?
Well, because I'm labeled this like hot doctor, and I guess they find me very relatable because of my social media. The sex questions are through the roof. It's like no one's ever been comfortable asking an older doctor a sex question. But like we just did the curbside consult question. And you would think people would be a little bit more reserved on the street. Nope. They start going, can we use coconut oil as lubrication in our sex life? I'm like, whoa, on the street? Just like this? I love it.
So what's the
No.
answer?
So with condoms, absolute no-no, because condoms will break with oil. But if you're in a monogamous relationship and that's what you choose to do, coconut oil is safe and actually works very well in older women who have some dryness issues. It works better than the stuff that they sell over the counter. So it's
Good to
something I
know.
do recommend.
The
To
Save
more
your
you
money.
know.
the more you know
Save your
about.
money on lube and buy coconut oil.
So you're like so popular on social media. Do you follow social media? Any social media people like that?
Now
Or are
that
they
I've
like-
gotten into the YouTube space, I've been doing a lot of collaborations with people, and I find that incredibly fun because they're so different than the people I surround myself every day with in the hospital. Their personalities are different, they're much more outgoing, they're creative, and I strive to learn from them. Actually, on this trip in LA, I'm going to be filming with a YouTuber by the name of Ricky Dillon.
Ooh,
we
I don't
love
know if
Ricky.
you're-
Yeah.
Yes, so hi Ricky.
Oh, he likes all your Instagram posts. 'Cause
yes, that's how we met.
Okay, good. I know. We see all of the YouTubers. Like we
Yeah.
have Ava Katowski.
Ava,
and then
yeah, Ava's a
Ricky.
great
They're
friend of
always
mine.
liking your Instagram posts. I'm like,
Well,
I
Ava
see
introduced
you.
me to Ricky, so
Okay.
that's why, small world.
Nice.
That's so funny. So you follow all those guys?
Yeah. I mean, King Batch, I'm a big
Nice.
fan of
Great too.
his.
It's all our faves.
I've never met him, but I think he's a really talented guy.
So outside of social media, though, you're here in LA because
Yep.
you've been hosting the Doctors. So how's
Yes.
that? Those opportunities been going?
The reason I'm really proud of that is not because I'm hosting a show that's great, but I was a guest on the show when I went viral 2 years ago. And a lot of people, when that moment happened, they're like, oh, 15 minutes of fame, he'll burn out, he's just a pretty face. And I always was so passionate about medicine and spreading my medical beliefs and things I've learned that 2 years later, to now be coming back, not as a guest, but to host a couple episodes, really shows that if you put in the hard work, you believe in your message, nobody can stop you, none of the naysayers. And as we all know, the trolls on social media are insane.
No.
Yes.
Never.
No. So this might be a weird question. So do you have a physical practice, or are you just
Yeah.
you're like an independent?
That would be cool if my practice was just on the street. I ran
Just
up
like-
to people. I was like, yeah, $5, I'll be
Just
your
like pull up
doctor.
a stand and sit at the table.
I practice out of Overlook Medical Center in Summit, New Jersey. I just finished my residency in July. And now I'm starting up working with them as an official, fully licensed attending, where I'll be doing some teaching to the residents as well.
How do all your colleagues take all this?
Here's the thing: with doctors, they're really confused because they don't understand the social
I would
media
say it's got to be
landscape.
very outside there,
Yes.
they're-
But because I was able to be an intern in the hospital, which is the first year of residency before the viral moment, and they saw how hard I worked that's the hardest year, and they saw that I wasn't about taking selfies. I don't think anyone in my hospital really sees me take selfies. Because as much as it looks like that's all I do, it's something I never do. In fact, my people that I work with always are like, take more pictures, take more pictures. But in the hospital, it's really busy. So I developed that respect and that rapport, a really good rapport with them, so they know that the superficial thing is something I do just to make it fun, make it more relatable, and it's not really who I am.
Have you ever had a patient? Have you ever walked in and they recognized you? Where they're like, "Oh my God,
Yes.
you're my doctor."
That happens a lot. It happens in good ways and bad
I was
ways.
gonna say there's got to be a negative to that.
So some people get really excited and come to see me solely because of the social media thing, which is great because you can come to me when you're healthy. A lot of girls write on my Instagram that they're going to break their arms and fall down the stairs to come see me. But I'm telling you, you don't have to do that. Come in for a physical, come in for a checkup. We'll do some
healthy.
cancer screenings. Yeah.
Just slam my face against that wall. Just
So we check them out. We've caught cancers early in these patients that have traditionally never go see a doctor, and that's what I'm most proud of. But then on the negative aspect of it, you walk into a room and a female patient is like, no way, I know you're popular, you're not going down there, because I deliver babies, I do gynecology. And I respect that. I try and talk them into it and explain that I'm a professional just like everybody else, but I respect their beliefs, so I have female colleagues that can step in.
Nice. So what is next? I'm gonna guess books.
Yeah.
Your own talk show.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush to do a book. It's been proposed, but if I'm going to do it, I'm always about doing it right.
If you're gonna be in the YouTube world, everybody's got a book.
Yeah. Eventually down the line.
Yeah.
An author.
I mean, so I guess you would say an outspoken fellow because I do something different than the rest of the medical community. So I would love to get that out there in the form of a book. TV show would be great because I am frustrated and a little bit upset about what the media does to healthcare. You look at some of the mainstream shows out there and the way they talk about supplements, the way they talk about radical diets and how apple cider vinegar is going to make you lose 30 pounds. That's
won't?
great. No.
I drink every morning.
No, I get caught in those kind of things. I don't know what's right and what's.
Exactly. So I like to be the proponent of good medicine, but instead of having my marketing ploy be look at these supplements and buy them for me, it's look, I'm wearing a fancy suit, come watch my channel, I'll give you good medicine. So that's how I want to change the landscape of medical television, make it fun, make it interesting, and get rid of the doctor talk. I'm a Brooklyn guy. When I learned medicine and diabetes, I was like, all right, so the white blood cells are like basketball players that are playing defense. So the way I learned was always through metaphors and breaking it down to a really simple concept. So that's the way that I teach people and trying to explain to a 5-year-old what having cancer is. Because I have to do that, and I have to tell them that their parents are sick. So when you do that, you really learn a lot about yourself, where your weaknesses are, and that's why every single day I strive to improve.
Well, it's great for our audience because they're so young to have somebody that can speak to them about actual serious health things.
Yeah, the goal is to really educate people, not to the point where they treat themselves, but to motivate them to go and get those prevention checkups, to go make sure that when a doctor tells them this surgery is for you, that they think about it first, that they may think about getting a second opinion and not rush to really drastic treatments or treating themselves with vitamins because they think that's the issue. Because unfortunately this happens in our society, and I believe information is power, so that's my job to disseminate, whether that's through a selfie and then talking about a flu shot in the caption, or a funny YouTube video running up to people in the street talking about vaginas and coconut oil.
Well, I was gonna say, it must be tough with the way the internet culture is today. We have WebMD, we have things.
I
where you can-
self-medicate all the time.
Bad!
You can Google your symptoms. You're like, I have a headache and my stomach hurts. It's like, oh my God, I have a
cancer,
brain aneurysm.
basically.
I'm gonna die. So how do you kind of combat that? How do you? I'm sure because people come to you probably saying I Googled it and I think I have this. How do you kind of
Going
deal
on the
with that?
forums, I swear, everyone
Yes.
talks about everything they've ever had,
That
and then you
is
think you have
deadly.
it. Yeah.
Well, look, so I understand why doctors write headlines or why marketers write headlines like, is sitting too long the next smoking?
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. And we know that these things are bad, but it's always important to take it with a grain of salt, and that's where someone like me, the Brooklyn guy, that'll tell it how it is. That's what I do, and I try to explain that to people all the time, that just because we say that it's bad for you, just because we say sleeping less is really bad for you, doesn't mean that if you, a few nights in a row, if you don't get enough sleep, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, just common sense above all, and that's a lot of what we need to preach back into society, that, you know, if you take one time too much medication of something, you're gonna be okay. Everything's fine. The human body's amazing.
Yeah.
It's persistence.
Yes.
Being online is persistence and just getting above all the like crap.
Right.
And
Yes.
stuff like that. Well, thank you. I know Chris,
I have one
wants-
question
Yes,
right now.
I'm
So
ready.
I feel like this is like the instant exclusive. I mean, we've been in the conversation for 20 minutes. I don't know if you ever had this question, but what is not perfect about you?
Oh, wow, what a compliment.
I mean,
I'm not gonna
smart,
lie. The
nice,
fan questions. We were
kind.
asking for fan questions, and that was kind of one of them.
What is your flaw,
What is your
Dr.
flaw?
Mike?
I'm really messy and all over the place.
Ooh, okay.
Unorganized. I'm working on it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your apartment, you got to clean it
Pure,
up sometimes.
pure mess.
Okay.
My
Well,
cell phone's unorganized.
You
It
do
just-
sound busy, so I mean that's like one thing has got to give.
I think
You
I make
can't-
excuses. I'm like, I get busy so I can be unorganized. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, look, I'm so busy, I can't clean up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, great answer. Great answer. Perfect answer.
Don't
it.
come to him for organizing advice,
Yes.
basically. Anything else?
Unless you want
medical?
someone to talk to and understand your issue, because that's what I'm about.
All right, did you want him to play your
Oh,
play?
sure, yeah.
Chris wanted
We're gonna
play
play a couple
Operation.
rounds.
Operation, just like
Oh my God.
a couple rounds
now,
of this.
now the pressure's
We
on.
couldn't do
Yeah.
this. It's been forever.
What's harder?
Is it on?
Working with
Yeah.
a patient or picking a title for your YouTube video?
Oh, you know what's funny? The YouTube video thing.
Yeah.
Because the patient conversation, I sort of know where to go. I know what diagnoses are out there, what illnesses are out there. But on YouTube, good luck figuring out an algorithm. Good luck figuring out what
Title,
people want.
yeah.
It's like human psychology to the next level.
Yeah.
Like what motivates
Because with
people
patient
to
stuff,
click.
it's one-on-one.
That's what we always say is like a YouTube title and a filter on Instagram are
Yep.
like the two hardest things.
One
to
of the
figure out
hardest
what you're
things.
Well, it's like if you had to convince one person of a debate, it's a lot easier than convincing millions. So that's how I view. Then I feel like this one's cheating. It's like,
He's going
sliding.
for which one? Which one is this one?
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go in such a suggestive area.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's do broken heart. Okay, I know this is not a. Maybe it's not a real medical condition, but
It totally is.
okay, it totally is. What is the remedies for a broken heart?
Right here, operation.
taking it out.
They always
Drinking
say
vodka sodas.
they always say surgeons. Oh no!
You lose.
What's the rule? Is that it? I lost.
No, I don't know. We're
It's
just
okay, you
doing
can-
this
I've
for
never
fun.
played. I've never played this board game before. Is that sad?
What?
Yes.
You've never played Operation?
No.
Well, it's like this is
I,
an old game.
I was an
This is
Xbox.
old school.
I'm really bad at this. Oh my god!
Have you
You
ever
know
had any ambitions to be a surgeon?
I operate. This, I was gonna say this is a lot harder
This
than
is
a true
harder.
operation. There we go.
There you go.
Ladies and
Broken
gentlemen,
heart.
a broken,
Broken
heart.
heart.
Wait, I'm gonna go.
All right, thank you so much.
Amazing.
Really appreciate
Yes,
your time by.
thank you so much. Much
Yeah.
appreciated.